Hi, I'm filming this midday on the 31st of December, so the likelihood of this video being silent, the background being silent, is slim to none. If you hear thumping or like music, just pretend that you're not hearing it because it's everyone trying to celebrate and ward off evil spirits and invite good luck for the coming year. And that's that. I'm shooting the last day of the year, which is pretty late, pretty bad. But I thought it would be a bit of a shame to just let it pass and go back to regular filming in the new year without wrapping up the year. So I made an all-encompassing list of thoughts about the year 2025 and some favorites. This is not just like book related, but in general, I've got a wish list for the coming year. And of course, I've got a more book reader related wish list. Let's get into it. Thoughts on 2025. First, I like Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift because, I don't know, you had to be there. I'm a fearless Taylor Swift Speak Now era girly. Of course, lyrically, they're not as technically excellent as the latter albums, but it spoke to her youth, and I do like that it's a bit of a full circle moment for her because people who were there when Taylor Swift first came into the scene kind of grew up with her. Of course, not by proximity, but there was never really a time when Taylor Swift wasn't popular since she came out. So we kind of watched her grow with us. So I'm kind of like nostalgic about it and glad that she is having this full circle. She's happy again now after everything that she went through. And granted, I think those opinions about the lyricism in the recent album, they're valid. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. But yeah, me personally, I kind of like it because I see a lot of parallels between Life of a Showgirl and fearless Taylor Swift era. Her becoming hopeful again about things like love and all that is kind of beautiful to me. I saw a lot of comments about people's opinions about Fate of Ophelia being an incorrect interpretation of the story of Ophelia. But if you think about love story from the fearless era, it's what she has been doing and she has done since the beginning is think of a more positive interpretation of a certain text. Like, love story was Romeo and Juliet, and Romeo and Juliet isn't happy either, but she sort of put her own spin on it. And I think it's the same thing with Fate of Ophelia. Basically, I like it. Second, speaking as a person who is not from the US and is not well versed in US law, I thought the Diddy verdict was a bit... Next, Blake Lively Baldoni feud or court proceedings. I'm just gonna say, based on everything that I've seen, granted, it may not be everything that is available, not all the evidence that is available, I am on Baldoni's side. The Ralph Lauren bear sweater, I did not know that it's been around for a while, but it's so cute. I'm so in love with it. This is more of a fashion thing now, but I'm so in love with all the looks that are coming out using the Ralph Lauren bear sweater. It's so cute, like Barista Who. It's so cute, and I like that it's become my cousin told me this. It's become a collector's item, and people are starting to collect it, and it's so... I don't know. I can get behind that. It's so pretty and so cute. And there are different poses of the bears, and they're like skiing or like in a top hat and a suit, and it's so cute. It's so precious. Next, 50 Cent is king. The level of petty, I think we can all learn from. It should be studied. How he did that long game, the beef, and this slow, methodical, strategic return serve that he did. Props, nothing but admiration for 50 Cent. This is my list, by the way. I remembered that Snow White, the live action, came out this year. I completely forgot about it. What I will say is I did not watch it. But my general opinions on the matter is that I don't think we need more live action remakes. Are there no more original stories that we can come up with? Because I kind of miss original concepts, or even like books that are turned into movies. Fine, let's do that. But live action remakes of princess stories, I think it's getting a little bit stale, especially with all the the run of flops that we've been having. Maybe it's time to regroup a little bit and rethink, go back to the drawing board a little bit with all these movies. And yeah. Next, I did not get a single Labubu this year, and I think for me personally, that's an achievement. I like purse pals in general, and I like the fact that people are having a stronger sense of personal style again, and everyone's starting to decorate again. Like, decorate in general, decorate their looks, accessorizing, decorating their spaces. It's becoming less minimalist and more like identity, personal preference driven again, and I like the direction that we're going there. But yeah, purse pals, yes. Labubus, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of the Labubu, and I did not get a single one, and I'm okay with that. Next, Olivia and Louis. I don't know if this is confirmed, but I'm so sad that they broke up, if it is true. Right now, all I'm seeing is like a source close to the couple said this, this, and this. Olivia burst into tears and all that. But yeah, it's not been confirmed, I don't think. But if it is true, I'm so sad. We really now have to protect Damiano and Dove and Tom Holland and Zendaya, because I hope in the coming year there will be more meaningful progress in the Celeste Rivas case. And I really hope justice comes for this family, her family, and all her loved ones, and all the people who are wanting justice for this poor girl. And yeah, even if it involves someone famous and like an influential person, I hope that this does not become a hindrance to getting justice for her. That was all my 2025 thoughts. Let's move on to my faves of the year. Book. Granted, I did not read that many books. It would be embarrassing for me to admit this, but I'm just gonna do it anyway because it's what happened and it's just a statement of fact at this point. But I think I only read like 20 books this year, which is not a lot at all, especially for a self-proclaimed reader book girly. It's just I don't know what happened. But my favorite book that I read this year is Not Another Vampire Book by Cassandra Gannon, just because it was so funny and such a humorous take on the ML MC tropes, like the stereotypical MC and hero and heroine tropes. The ML of the story was so funny and so obnoxious, and yeah, give it a read if you would be so inclined. Next, manhwa. I read a lot of manhwas this year. I do know what happened with the reading less. I was reading, but just not books. I read a lot of manhwas, but sadly, my favorite manhwa of all time has not been dethroned. Love Tractor is still my favorite, and I don't think it's ever going to change. YouTube, I discovered a lot of great channels this year that I just want to give a shout out to. Jenna Phipps, I already mentioned before, but I really like her home renovation videos with her partner Nick. They built this house from the ground up. When I say they ripped it apart with little to no help, they had help with the things that they couldn't technically do because they were not experts on the matter. Like they had to hire HVAC people and like plumbing people, but when they demolished like the roof and everything, Mostly it was just the two of them, with maybe like their parents, their siblings helping out sometimes, but for the most part it was just them, and they were really trying to do everything themselves, wiring electrical and all that, and landscaping outdoors, and putting up the things on the roof. It's great. The next channel, I listened to it on YouTube, but it's technically a podcast. It's Kylie Kelsey's Not Gonna Lie, and she covers a wide variety of topics: sports, being parents, being like, I'm not a parent, but I like listening to her, and I like how she is like a no nonsense kind of person, and yeah, I just enjoy listening to her, and she has a lot of great guests. The next one is a docu-series on Netflix that I really liked, that I watched. I mean, is it fair to say that I liked it? It was very informative, but the theme of it is very heavy. So I don't know if I can say that I like it. I was very, it was an eye-opener, let's just say. The docu-series is called The Program, and it's about the troubled teen curing industry in the US, and I had no idea this was a thing. And it's where rich people, or like upper middle class people, who have kids who are entering that rebellious phase, which is something that everyone kind of goes through in their teenage years and their exploratory years. What they do is they send off their kids to this kind of camp, or like a dorm situation, like it's called a school, but they're not learning anything, and they don't even have teachers. It's like a self-learning thing, but basically they're locked up in these schools, and they're just being not treated right in those schools. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I don't know how else to describe the severity of what is going on there. And I had no idea this was a thing, that they could book people to pretend to kidnap their kids, to take them into this school, and then what happens is a cycle of the parents being misinformed about how their children are actually doing in these institutions, and it becomes a cycle of like fooling the parents, and not treating the kids right, and then the kids trying to ask help from their parents, but their parents are kind of almost called blinded by this system, and it's so scary. It's so scary. There's even a part where Paris Hilton speaks on her experience going through these programs, and I think Drew Barrymore went to some kind of school like this as well, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, but if I remember correctly. But Paris Hilton was definitely in that documentary, and it was so sad. It was so sad because it was all these kids who went to those programs in their adulthood, and you can see the aftermath and the mental toll that it took on them, because they went back to the place. The building is closed now, and they dug all the files of the things that happened to them. It's such an informative docu-series, and just watch it. The next is favorite song of the year. It's Father Figure by Taylor Swift. I really liked it. I listened to it for the first time, and it was like, she really said that. She really said, first of all, I have a dad, and who's really providing? And I thought it was just a clever song, and just a concise, perfectly put comeback to everything that happened to her with regards to her music and the rights to her music, and like, props to her. I really liked it. I really liked the whole album, but that was my favorite of the album. Moving on from the favorites, things that were from 2025 that I hope we carry on to 2026. I literally wrote this. Please, let's continue offering whole corporate execs as sacrifices throughout the year. It's been a trend of like powerful company corporate executives being named and shamed and exposed if they're doing something wrong. I mean, if you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to be afraid of. If you are, then go ahead and be afraid. Coldplay Kiss Cam, and even later in the year, I think the Campbell VP. Apologies if it's not the VP, but one of the Campbell executives was exposed saying some stuff. And I hope that everyone who needs to be exposed will get exposed in the coming year. And if you're doing anything wrong, I hope that you get what you deserve. And if you are not, then you deserve good things. It's just according to what you deserve. Next, let's please continue the plaid trend in the coming year. I'm still gonna wear it, even if it's not trendy anymore. But I hope that we can all agree to still continue to wear it. I'm wearing plaid right now. See? And I over the holidays, I think I bought I thrifted 4 plaid skirts, like different kinds of plaid, different shades of plaid. But yeah, I was so happy and I really like it right now. Third is, let's please continue thematic press tour looks. If you're having a press tour in 2026, you're a celebrity stylist, this message is for you. If it's a movie where you can have thematic looks for the press tour, please. They did it with Barbie Perfect Chef's Kiss. It was not 2025. I think Barbie came out in 2024. But yeah, it started with that. And with Wicked press tour, Ariana and Cynthia Rivas' looks were so spot on. And even the other cast, Jonathan Bailey and Jeff Goldblum and everyone else, I think they had great looks for the press tour. Any films Zendaya's been in, she always has spot on, thematic, press tour looks, and I hope everyone else follows suit, please. Dressing up is back, seemingly back. And I hope this continues in the new year. Like office core, preppy, prints, textures, full outfits with all the attachments. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with athleisure and wearing joggers and sweaters. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's your preference, it's fine. But I kind of like the direction that we're going in, where we're coming back to full outfits. I've always been a tryhard with looks and everything. I kind of like that we're coming back to, as I said, dressing up according to personal taste, moving away from the minimalist situation and just having a little bit more identity with how we dress and all that. Experiencing the joy of putting together a look, I think, is great, and I hope it continues. Purse pals, let's continue in the new year. Let's kind of attach to that other thing about dressing up. Purse pals, decorating, accessorizing. Let's continue in the new year. Let's regain our identity as a society and personal preference. Next is approaching the new year with cautious optimism. I literally wrote that. It happened when we ushered in 2025, and I hope we have the same cautious emphasis on cautious optimism about 2026. It's not bad to hope for things, I think, and to want good things for the coming year, but I hope that we don't brashly, haphazardly claim like it's my year and everything's gonna go well, because I think that sets you up for a lot of disappointment. And I like that we approach slowly and carefully, and I think it's wise to be prudent about things and whatever that may be, including the coming year. Wish list for 2026. Movies, costume design. I hope that it pops off in the new year. If you're making a movie right now, please. Especially if it's like a period movie or something that is known for the visual of it. I'm expecting great things from Bridgerton, the new season, Devil Wears Prada, the new movie. Yeah, if you're making a movie right now, please step it up. Next, better seasonal books, please, in 2026, because is it just me or the pickings were incredibly slim for the holiday books in 2025? I think I barely saw any like holiday romances. There were more options in the previous years, and I don't know what happened, but I barely saw anything. That's like partially the reason why I didn't read that much, because even the Halloween books, the paranormal romance books, where are they? Did every author just collectively decide to take a break? If so, completely fine. But just, I'm wondering. I hope there are more options in the coming year, seasonal books wise. May we all have the patience, the perseverance to do a long game like 50 Cent in the coming year. I saw a lot of similar sentiments. It's not just with revenge with me or with like concluding a beef. That's what 50 Cent did. In anything that you are pursuing, whether that's a passion, a project, anything that you're pursuing in the coming year, I hope we all have greater patience and greater perseverance in going after these things. The next one, I will keep it brief because it's a bit of a contentious subject. I do not want to fight in 2026. And I say this because I'm seeing a lot of content and everyone is seemingly so heated about everything all the time. Men and women are at odds more than ever before, I feel like, based on the things that I've seen. And for 2026, me personally, I will not engage unless provoked. So don't provoke. Let's just not fight if we can. Of course, defend yourself if you're being attacked. But otherwise, I don't really want to fight. I don't have the wherewithal. I don't have the energy to have an argument with people. Can we please find something to like about each other again? Moving on, this is a more book girly specific 5 reader things that I think we should leave behind in 2025. I see people doing videos like this and maybe their lists are longer, but I just wrote 5 things. First is one that I keep saying every year. It's romanticizing life so much and fictionalizing life so much where we think we are beyond reproach, beyond consequences. It's good to romanticize your life and think of things in a more positive way and view your life in a positive way. But if it comes to a point where we are breaking laws and doing obnoxious things and fictionalizing to the point of stepping over someone else's rights and someone else's comfort and someone else's space, let's not do that. Things have consequences. Life is real life. Fiction is fiction. Next is more of a practical thing. Don't buy the entire series without reading the first book. Read the first book first. Let's not overconsume. Maybe you hate the first book and you've already been stuck with all the other ones. Access to books is not that hard generally speaking, typically speaking. It's not that hard to find a bookstore, to find an online shop to buy books. It's not that hard to have access to books. If we're talking about the proximity to you, expense is another issue. It's not that hard to go online and buy a book. Go to a Barnes & Noble and buy a book. If you decide to try a series, just buy the first book first. And then go to the Barnes & Noble again and buy the rest if you like it. I think I've mentioned this before. Please don't objectify people who look like your book talk boyfriends. Please. Or even like your fictional love interest in general. It's okay to compliment people, yes, but let's be nice about it, and let's not demean them because you think that they have the same personality as the fictional representation in the book that you think that they look like. Let's not do that, especially on public forums. I mean, doing it in a DM is not any better, but let's not do that anymore. The last one is more of a wish. I hope that nobody stops reading. I'm aware that there was a surge of people who became interested in reading over the pandemic, and I would hate to see that wear off and people to go back to thinking that reading is not cool. I hope that we continue to be engaged and be interested in reading books, because I think that there are a lot of positive skills that you can gain from reading. Those are all my thoughts for 2025, all my wishes for 2026, and I hope that you are having a lovely new year. Hope you get to celebrate it with people that you like. Hope we ring in the coming year with, as I said, cautious optimism, but I do hope that good things, amazing things happen for everybody this coming year, and I hope we just have a good one in general. I will see you in the next year. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time.